Alright, what's up everybody? Cash here, and I am finally getting around to doing my meet recap for Powerlifting America Open Nationals. Placed 5th place in the 57 kilo weight class, which is not where I wanted to be, but it's where I ended up. So, I'm going to be finally sitting down and recapping this. It's been almost a month, so competed on April 3rd, and now it's April 30th that I'm doing this. So, yeah, got my videos pulled up from Top Set Media. They were the ones who did all of the media photos as well as the live stream, so they were really great about that. Very satisfied with the product that was put out. So yeah, starting out, showing up there, it was at the Georgia Convention Center. Very nice venue. Wish there were signs to show you where to get to, especially because I competed day one. So there's not so much of like, oh, here's where you need to go and here's what you need to do from the other athletes. Yeah, so we get there. I competed in the primetime session. So I started lifting at 6 p.m., which meant I had to show up for weigh-ins at 4 p.m. I got there right around 3:30. The venue was a little bit confusing because we were in conjunction with USA Weightlifting Nationals. And so if USA Weightlifting was here, let's put weightlifting here and put powerlifting here. Weigh-ins for powerlifting were directly in front of weightlifting platforms, and weigh-ins for weightlifting were directly in front of powerlifting platforms. So there's a little bit of confusion. Walked up and saw like signs that said you have to be in your singlet in order to weigh in, and I was like, yo, I'm not making weight if I have to weigh in my singlet. Like, I gotta strip down to weigh in. That confusion kind of got cleared up a little bit. Once again, this is day one, so understanding that as a lightweight lifter for a national level event, you're gonna have to be the one that helps iron out some kinks. The weigh-in area was, it's a weigh-in area. The scale was weird, like even if you stood completely still, the numbers were still very finicky. So the numbers never stopped. They just kept either fluctuating up and down, and you kind of had to just hit that sweet spot where it's like, all right, this is about the average of where it keeps fluctuating from. So that was, whatever. Come out, do our little media thing, which is they took a few pictures of us as the primetime athletes. Not too many. I'm not very well known in the powerlifting world just yet. But it was nice, it was cool. Warm-up area was perfect, loved it. We pretty much had one rack to ourselves. I had somebody else handle me, and it was absolutely needed because when it's just you on a rack, you don't have anybody there to help you, you're kind of screwed there because nobody's there to load and unload your weights. So that adds on to the fatigue you have to have. So I was 100% glad that I got a handler for that. And yeah, started on time. Everybody was nice. I was kind of starstruck, to be honest, and had a little bit of imposter syndrome. But the event ran quite smoothly. So let's get into these videos. So, opener squat, super easy, super nice. Couldn't have moved any. That's probably the best an opening squat has ever moved for me. 3 white lights. And, I mean, what else can you really say? So, that was 135 kilos. And, like I said, it moved very well. So, let's move on. So let's go ahead and see the second squat. So that one, I still have feelings about whether it was depth or not, especially with the camera angles. I got 3 reds, so obviously everybody thought it was high. To me, 3 reds means it's obnoxiously high. I didn't necessarily see that, but that was a 12.5 kilo jump. I normally wouldn't do a 12.5 kilo jump. The weight moved, but realistically, I probably would have loaded 147.5 or 150 for a third, not for a second. But had a little bit of miscommunication there, and yeah, I had to retake it for my third. I'm not gonna sit there and review it because I failed it based on strength. So it is what it is. We walked away from squat 1 for 3, and then we moved on to bench. So bench moved well. That was 77.5 that I opened up with. Nothing too crazy. Bench is the one thing that during the cut does take a hit when it comes to my numbers. And so going into this, I knew that I wasn't going to hit the numbers that I hit in training. It's okay. Bench is also one of the ones where I'm very strict about what jumps I know I can make. And so on bench, I know that I'm going to do a 5 kilo jump and then a 2.5 kilo jump, and that's that. So we did 5 kilo jump, stuck to the plan, and let's go ahead and hit the second one. So that moved beautifully. Very satisfied with how that moved. Even as great as it looked, I would still not go up 5 kilos. So I didn't, kept it my standard 2.5 kilo jump from there. And so let's go ahead and hit my third. And then we can get into the fun stuff. So yeah, that moved exactly how I feel like a third should have moved. Very satisfied with that, and you know, happy with walking away with 85 on the day. In prep, the highest I hit was 91 with a pause. So 6 kilos dropped based on probably dropping about 3 kilos in body weight. I'm fine with that. All right, so now the fun stuff, deadlift. I opened up at 180 kilos, and I'm not gonna lie, back in the warm-up room I was a little bit anxious, and it tends to happen where I get anxious in the warm-up room and I'll be like, I think I should drop it, but I didn't want to drop my opener. If anything, I thought about going up on my opener and taking an extra warm-up, just so that I could kind of push it a little bit. I knew I was well behind based on squat and bench, and kind of just tried to hope to push it a little bit on deadlift because why not? But yeah, opened up with 180 kilos, so let's see it.
Start us off. Come on.
So the finger guns, right? I love them. I love to do them. Basically, when I was deployed and I was in Afghanistan and I would be in my room bored, we were issued pistols. We weren't issued rifles based on where I was at. And so sometimes I would just like sit in my room and like practice my quick draw, because I also love Westerns and it's one of the things that me and my dad both enjoy. So that's kind of where the finger guns came from. For a while I took a break from doing them because I would kind of get too hyped and into it. And then I would end up like kicking the bar with my shins and getting out of position. So just like having that ability to kind of control it. And then this meet I added in the putting them back in the holsters. So yeah, I mean that moved like honestly a joke, you know. Let's hit the next one. So 190 moved great again. What else can you say, right? This was my third attempt at my last meet, because when I did my opener, I got 3 reds on it because they said I wasn't fully locked out. So if you'll notice, I'll do like an extra lean. I never used to do that, and I actually hate it because it's to me, it's more risky. You can like really hurt yourself by doing that extra lean, but some judges want to see it. And that day, back in December, all 3 judges wanted to see the extra lean, which if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what it is. So this was my redemption meet to get that 200 kilos. And so that's what I loaded up next.
Don't stop. Here we go. Don't let go. Let's go. Here we go.
And the lift is good for Brandy. Takes the bar to 451 for Heather Connor.
It warms my heart. I absolutely had more kilos left in me on the day, but I'd rather leave kilos on the board by not pushing it that hard than to push and miss. So already know, you know, next meet, it's fuck it, we go 210, right? But I have never smiled during a deadlift. Fun fact, that is the one time that I have, and I think it was well earned for me to crack a little smile. I forgot to holster my pistols. It was like one of the first things I thought of when I walked around back after finishing the meet. I was like, damn, I didn't holster my pistols. And then I was like, on my own. But yeah, always thank your judges. Even if you don't agree with the calls they've given you, they've taken their time to come and sit and watch very boring sport. Let's be real. Powerlifting gets boring if you're not like into the sport. Always thank your judges. Overall, it was a very great experience. I am very bougie nowadays, and I cannot see myself competing in a non-primetime session, non-primetime slot. So the downside is that with this meet, I didn't get my 100 good lift points. So I got 99, I want to say, 98 or 99. But it is what it is. We ended up with a 420 blaze at total. That's gonna go up. Keep an eye out for my training. I'm posting mostly on Instagram now, so I won't be posting as much on YouTube just because I'm trying to feed the algorithm on Instagram and then kind of bring y'all from Instagram over to YouTube and vice versa. So thank you for watching. That is my meet recap. On the lookout for new training, and I will see y'all, I don't know, maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. Follow me on Instagram and you'll see me more often. All right.